Michael from CTW here, and today we're going to show you how to use the live control feature in Probe Analysis Software. That way you can adjust your shock live and then save it as an actual data file or match it to another damper and then run a test. So with Probe open, you have to turn on a few things that are typically hidden. So if you go to live, you're going to turn on live cycles, and then you're going to turn on live data, because this is an actual different area. And then if it's not on, it'll be over here, live control. And if you click on this, it will just make it permanent. Otherwise it keeps auto hiding, it keeps going away, and that way it just stays there. So here is where the live cycles will count down, and here's where the show live works. So generally you're going to type in a velocity to start. We'll just type in 5, hit enter. Dyno's about to start, absolutely. So the dyno's running, got my shock in there. I click on start cycle capture, and you can see there's the shock, and you can see the cycles as it goes. Now you can pause the data, shock's still running, cycles aren't continuing anymore, and you can go back to collecting. Oh, you gotta click on the start cycle capture. So that's how the basics of it works. So I'm gonna stop again, gonna make an adjustment and capture some more cycles. So you can see I made adjustment. Now of course you can do this live, and you can see you're actually capturing the damper as that needle is moving, and you get some very interesting graphs, as you can see. But that does tell you it is very live. So I'm going to do a stop cycle capture. I don't need any more cycles. I'm going to stop the machine for a second. So you can see you have adjustments, and you have all of these cycles over here. Now clearly there are some that got caught in between. The beauty is you can turn them off and basically clean up the screen, and then just use the ones that you want. So we still got a few stragglers there, and never really sure which one it is, so we just turn it off. And then there's this brown one running around. I don't know what that one is. Not that one. Well, let's see, where's another brown? 33. So there you go. You can clean up and you get a live screen of what's going on. Now that may or may not be helpful, but what is really helpful is we'll go to the next step, and I'm going to do clear live cycles. And let's use the example, you're going to try to match two dampers. You've already run the first one, or you have a master list. If you go to test data and you open your master file, whatever it may be, and I ran this before in one of our earlier videos, if you click on it, right click, if you say live reference, and then go back to live cycles, you see you now have a live reference of that damper itself. So if you're going to try to match it, you're going to go back and you're going to run it at the same speed it was run at. We're going to do 5 inches again. And the dyno's going to fire back up, and I'm going to do start cycle capture. Like, oh, look at that. Okay. Stop cycles, stop the dyno. So what we have here is the one we brought in has the rod force removed. The one that we're collecting, because we're collecting live, we haven't removed it. A few things you can do, but the best and easiest way to do is just in live control, run the rod force. So we will go ahead, we'll click on it. Yes. It's going to go ahead and run the rod force, and then it will remove that from all future data in this live screen. So a very good feature to use. Makes it easier to match your dampers. You can see up here it's measured 46 pounds, so it's going to remove it when we continue. Because these are off by the rod force, I'm just going to get rid of them just by clicking on the X. They're all gone. I'm going to go back, type in my 5 inches per second. The dyno's going to start again. I'm going to do my start cycle capture. And you can see it's much closer. So to try to match, I'm going to just keep making my adjustments. And maybe one more. That looks pretty close. I'm going to go clear live cycles. And there we are. We are matched about as close as we can get. I'm going to stop cycle capture. I'm going to stop the machine. So we've matched the two shocks, and I can again clean it up by either turning these off and just say the purple one's the good one. Get rid of that one. So we now say they're matched. If I right click on, let's see, save to file. You can change the colors if you want. If you save to file, you can do, we'll just call it live run cycle, save. So that's now an actual data file. You actually have that to use in the future, and you can see it automatically loads in, and you can go from live screen, you can go back to your normal force versus absolute velocity. And now you can see you now have one shock that you had run before. You used the live screen to go ahead and run and actually create a data file. So that is how the live control works. We find that it's best when you're not using live control to just turn off. You can see turn off the live cycles, turn off the live data, and just go back to your normal screen. Now, another interesting feature of the live control is the scope function. So if we turn live data back on, live data, you can see you can do live control on any number of graphs, but you can also do a scope where you have your channels, displacement, force, temperature, velocity, and we'll show you. We do have some customers using this, and they find it very helpful, but there you have the actual live values as the dyno is running. And I will go ahead and show you. I'm pushing on the shock, and you'll see the force, the orange one, is changing. If I make some adjustments, you can see you're actually seeing the adjustments affecting the dyno, little vibrations. But once it gets settled, you can now see I opened the adjuster, the force is much softer, displacement's the same, temperature's doing whatever temperature does. So that is how you use the scope function. And when you're done, you just stop the machine. The scope carries on. You also have a signal versus time, but that is not like the scope. This is a little different. And there you go. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, contact us using the information in the video description.